8.2, we're only doing 8.1 and 8.2 this test. That's it. That's all we're doing. We have trigonometric functions, or ratios, excuse me. They are functions. After this, I'm going to call them trig ratios, or trig functions. I'm not going to say trigonometric every time. That's kind of it's fun to say, but I got to say it really fast or I mess it up. Okay? So the first ratio that we have is sine. S-I-N-E. We abbreviate it S-I-N. Okay? It is of A. I borrowed these notes. This should have of something. Okay? Of means multiply, yes? That's the parentheses. It is a function that you have to perform on something. So you use sine, cosine, tangent are the three that we're going to do. There are 6 trig functions, but we're only doing 3 of them. Sine, cosine, and tangent. They're the basic ones that they all want everyone to know. We only use them on what kind of triangles? Right triangles. What other thing do we only use on right triangles? Pythagorean theorem, right? So only on right triangles. When we talk about the right triangle, this is the hypotenuse.
And then the other 2 are legs.
Okay, the other 2 are legs. Okay, so the sine function is equal to the opposite, and that's opposite side. Oops. Can you see the red okay? Mm-hmm. Of the angle. An angle we use theta. Is that gonna bother you? We'll put a key up there. Side of theta. And up here put theta equals angle. That's a theta. T-H-A-T. Theta. Oh, I forgot the A at the end. T-H-A-T-A. It's a Greek letter. We use it for angles. Over the hypotenuse. Okay, I don't have to qualify the hypotenuse in any other way, do I? Because the hypotenuse is the side opposite the right angle. It is always the longest side. The opposite side of theta would be a leg, correct? One of the legs. So what is opposite this angle? That side. Not the angle, the side. This would be side B, lowercase b. Remember, sides are lowercase, angles are uppercase. What's opposite of A? Side A. What's opposite of C? Side C. We did that with Pythagorean theorem, but I didn't put angles and sides together, did I?
Reminder, we'll be at eSports fundraiser meeting today during IAPs in Mr. Dose's room for anyone who has or will participate in eSports.
Okay. So, this...
Again, that will be for eSports fundraiser meeting during IAPs in Mr. Dose's room.
So, X is an angle, yes? How about an angle? So, the sine of A. So, I need the opposite side of theta, but theta is what? A. So, what is opposite of A? What side? A. Over the hypotenuse. What's the hypotenuse? C. And it's a ratio. It's a fraction, yes? And I would reduce the fraction. That's it. So sine of B. Well, what's opposite B? B. Over the hypotenuse, which is C. Now, the other way you can write it is sine of theta equals O over H. What's O stand for? Opposite. What's H stand for? Hypotenuse. Okay. So now I have two examples. They're hard to read. They're weird. I don't know why they're written like that. If you don't like them, fill in the sign. I don't know. I think that makes it worse to read, isn't it? Okay, it says sign of what? A. So A is where? Right here, yes? So I need the opposite of A, which is what? 3, which is side A, yes. And then I need the what? Hypotenuse, which is 5. So I need the sign of
B, which is
B.
4.
So opposite of B is
4.
4. And the hypotenuse is
5.
5. Now, if I could reduce those, would I reduce them? Yeah. Definitely. Try this one on your own. So who would like to give me sine of A? Tristan?
It'd be 15 over 17.
Does everyone have 15 over 17? Kerrigan, you want to give me B since you raised your hand?
8 over 17.
8 over 17. Does that make sense? Okay. So guess what we have now? Cosine. Okay. Cosine we abbreviate COS. When you see it, of theta, when you see COS, you say cosine. I don't want to hear sin up here. I should have written it. I don't want to see, when you see SIN, you say sine. You don't say sin. You don't say cos. You don't say tan. You say the whole word. Got it? If you don't say the whole word, I'll make you write the whole word. Do you want to write the whole word?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So the cosine of theta is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. Well, opposite means opposite, yes? What does adjacent mean?
Isn't it like where they meet?
Well, it touches it. Adjacent means next to. Okay? Because opposite's opposite, right? Hypotenuse, hypotenuse. Adjacent has to be the only side that's not opposite or adjacent. I mean, hypotenuse. Nicholas? Need some toothpicks to hold open those eyes? Okay, so remember we have A, B, and C because they're opposite angle A, yes? Okay, so what is adjacent to angle A and not the hypotenuse? B. So it's B over C.
So the top will never be the hypotenuse?
Not on these, no. When you do cosecant, secant, and cotangent, yes. Well, not cotangent, cosecant and secant. And that's in trig. Okay? So cosine of B, well, what's adjacent to B? A. And opposite is C. So we could write this, the cosine of theta equals A, which stands for what? Yeah, I'll write it down here. Adjacent. Over H, which stands for hypotenuse. So when you get here, you could say, well, if I'm talking about B, could I put an O, an A, and an H? Because then I would know which was which. What did I tell you last week? Always identify what first? Hypotenuse. Because if I have the hypotenuse, then I'm good. Okay, so this is the first one, this is the second one. Same as before. So cosine of A. So put your pencil on A. Adjacent means it's touching it, yes? And it's not the hypotenuse.
16
So it's 16
over 34.
over 34.
2/3.
No. 8 doesn't go into 34.
8/17.
What?
8/17.
8/17 because 2 goes into both of those and that's it, right?
Oh, I did it 24.
But always reduce. Okay, cosine of B. So put your pencil on B and go adjacent, which is
30
30.
over 34.
over 34,
Which is actually 15 over 17.
which is 15 over 17. Now, you can reduce here, but could I also reduce up here?
Yeah.
Only if they all have one thing in common. Does that make sense? If only 2 have it in common, don't do it. So I have 34, 30, and 16. What do they all have in common?
2.
2. So I could make it 8, 17, and 15. How did we do that? Because we took what out of all of them? 2. Can I do it if the 3 goes into 2 of them and not into the other? No. Okay, you'd have to reduce over here. Okay, so you try this one.
I think already there's
Okay, Tori, cosine of A.
7/25.
7 over 25. Does it help to put your pencil on the angle? Colton, cosine of B. 24 over 25. Making sense? Okay, so tangent. This is the last thing we're going to do today? Yes. Okay, last thing we're going to do. So tangent is just tan of theta. Is opposite over adjacent. So tan of theta is what letter over what letter? O over A. So we got to label my triangle, right? So A, B, and C.
Yep.
So the tangent of A, opposite over adjacent, A over B. Tangent of B, B over A. Now, these aren't that hard, right? But I remember I said no notes. So do you have to remember sine, cosine, and tangent, what parts are over parts? Yes.
That's gonna beat me.
What?
That's gonna beat me.
Nope, it's not. Because I'm going to show you something real quick. Okay, you guys want to reduce now or not?
No.
No? Okay. So tangent of A.
3/4.
Well, 20/15. So you guys didn't want to reduce yet. So it equals 4/3. I would have taken a 5. Can I do that right away?
I said now, not now.
Yeah, I want to do it now. If I can, I do it now. Because then half the time you guys forget to reduce, don't you? Okay, tangent of B. 3 over 4. Okay, you do the next one. Of course, I give you the ones that you can't reduce, right?
Yeah.
Hey, but it's nice to know you can't reduce them, right?
True.
Like this
just
isn't
get
like
later.
hard. It's just a lot of remembering.
Right, but that's why we do lots of repetition.
Right.
And when you do your homework, you got it. Okay, Caroline, tangent of A.
There's only 2 left. 21 over 20.
21 over 20. Cass, B.
29 over 21.
Say that again.
29 over 21.
Okay, opposite of B. 20. Adjacent, 20,
21.
21. Okay, so on these, when we're looking for it, would it be helpful to again do H?
Yep.
Because if I know H, I know that is not anywhere in tangent, correct? Okay, so we don't have any more examples, but I do want you to go to the next page real quick. Right here, if you have a highlighter at some point, you might want to do this. We have SOHCAHTOA. What do you think SOHCAHTOA stands for? What's S stand for? Sine. What's O stand for?
Opposite.
And what's H?
Hypotenuse.
Okay, is sine opposite over hypotenuse? Yes. Okay, what does C stand for?
Cosine.
Cosine. What's A stand for?
Adjacent.
And H stands for?
Hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. TOA. What's T stand for?
Tangent.
Tangent. What's O?
Opposite.
Opposite. And A?
Adjacent.
Adjacent. So tangent is opposite over adjacent. If you can remember SOHCAHTOA and write it at the top of your test, along with 1 square root of 3 and 2, what's that? 30, 60, 90. And square root of 2, square root of 2, 2. What's that? 45, 45, 90. And if you need to write a squared plus b squared equals c squared, what's that? Pythagorean theorem. If you have these 4 things, you have the answer to any problem on your test. And that took us together less than a minute. And if you're doing it yourself, should it take you like 2 seconds? Yes? Okay, so we are going to do start the next thing together in class.